Yay Networks.
Welcome back to B-Zen with Brit. I'm your host, Brit Madrid Mogensen, and it's Scorpio season. So we're going to be talking about your horoscopes. We're going to get into what the Scorpio season means, how we can use it, and we're going to dive into a little bit of celebrity numerology and some more fun cosmic things. So let's get into it. All right. So everybody has probably heard Taylor Swift's Midnight's album by now, right? I know I have. I spent the weekend just listening to the album, getting super emo. And I got to say that it does not surprise me at all that this album came out just in time for Scorpio season, because Taylor Swift actually has a Scorpio rising and a Scorpio stellium in her birth chart. Translation, she's got a whole lot of Scorpio energy, even though she's a Sagittarius sun. So we can kind of start to get the vibe of Scorpio season just by listening to some of the tracks on the Midnight's album. The way that it's just so like deep, emotional, mysterious. Also, the way that Taylor likes to hide mystery, like Easter eggs everywhere, that is so Scorpio energy. So if you're wondering what the vibe is, or you need to like get yourself in the mood, listen to that album. All right. Maybe you should listen while you're listening to your horoscope. So when we come back, I'll have those horoscopes for you. So we're in this energy that's a little bit more mysterious, a little bit more intense. It's also a time of great transformation. So Scorpio season starts October 23rd and it goes all the way through November 22nd. And during this little time period, we are able to, Halloween happens during this time period, right? Spooky season. It's kind of interesting that it coincides with the Scorpio energy of like the occult, like Scorpio rules the occult, all things mysterious, all things hidden. So, in order to get into that energy, it's important to know how it affects your sign. Like, I think above even any other like horoscope, you really want to know your Scorpio season horoscope. So listen here for your rising sign and your sun sign. And I'm going to tell you guys like what you can expect and how you can use the energy, because some area of your life, there is like this major potential right now to make a huge transformation. It's kind of creepy, right? It's kind of freaky, but it's really exciting, especially when you know how to use it and you see it coming. Okay. So let's start by talking about our water signs. Scorpio, we're going to start with you because it is your season. Happy birthday, honey. You have been working hard all year. And this is the time when everyone who is a Scorpio gets to do a total reboot. So Scorpio season lights up your first house, which means this is like your time to focus on yourself. Scorpio people can get really into the energy of like what's going on around them. They're very emotional. And sometimes they forget to really take the time to just focus back on themselves. So this is your season to transform yourself in any way that you'd like. So that could be physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever it is for you. Set those intentions now because this is your astrological new year. Very exciting. Okay, so let's talk about Cancer now. Cancer, you guys have your fifth house lit up during Scorpio season. And the fifth house is like dating, fun, your inner child, creativity. I'm going to have to tell my brother, he's a Cancer. This is a good time. Like plain and simple, Cancers, this is a good time. Water signs tend to really enjoy Scorpio season because it is the same element, right? Signs of the same element tend to just kind of flow in their seasons. So Pisces, you have your ninth house lit up, and that is like travel, learning, and exploration. So Pisces, you guys have this opportunity to really expand your mind. And if you can travel during Scorpio season, this would be a great time. Also, if you're wanting to find new love, same thing with Cancer. Actually, okay, I'm just going to say all water signs, you could find new love right now. But it's specifically like Cancer with the fifth house, great time to go on dates, not a great time to commit. Pisces, great time to meet someone new and just see where it goes, because the ninth house is like expanding your mind. And be open, Pisces, to like different types of people that you may not usually be attracted to, because that could be someone that either helps you to think of like a new idea, expanding your mind in some way, or expands your idea of what's possible in your love life. Sometimes the most unexpected people end up working. So think big. Give more things a chance this season. Okay, when we come back, we are going to talk about the earth signs. So, earth signs, the themes that you guys are going to be dealing with and the areas where you can transform during Scorpio season are kind of all over the board. So, let's start with Virgo, because I'm a Virgo and I want to know. Virgo, your third house is lit up during Scorpio season, and this is your communication house. Kind of funny. We may be doing some transformations on the podcast right now. Just saying, you guys, it's happening during Scorpio season. Sometimes the astrology is just too dead on. But communication, when it comes to like your siblings, especially, the third house is like siblings, neighbors, and then like communication. Sounds kind of random, but they all fall into that third house. So if there is a relationship, let's say with one of your neighbors, or maybe you need to talk to one of your siblings more, or let's say you want to launch a social media campaign, this is your time during Scorpio season because the third house will give you that boost to make your communication more clear and more exciting for other people to be drawn in. So it's just a really good time to get out there and like converse, do your thing, kind of think like a Gemini, just pollinate all the flowers, get out and about. It'll be good for you. Okay, Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. Oh my gosh, you guys. So all of my Taurus sun and rising people, y'all are going to be so excited to hear that your seventh house is lit up during Scorpio season and your seventh house is love. So, this is the time when you can either meet someone that you could really get serious with in the future, or this is an energetic opening to get engaged, get married. Like, this is when your love house is just lit up. So, you've waited all year for this, Taurus. I know you guys, y'all are romantic, and this is it. So embrace it and really make the most of it. Spend more time with one you love. This is a time to just deepen those romantic bonds. And also, like I said, if you're single and you want to meet someone, have faith because this is a really good time for you to just possibly run across your soulmate. Capricorn, you guys, the 11th house is lit up for you. And Capricorn, this is your house of wishes. You guys work really hard all year. Really, all the earth signs put in the work. But Capricorn, you guys are known as like the boss of the zodiac. So you can just, be an endless like workaholic. I know you guys know, but this is your 11th house time. So that means you can focus on your wishes. You can let go of the reins a little bit and let yourself dream. Also, the 11th house rules like bigger groups, bigger areas. So let's say if you guys wanted to start some sort of like a charity, or if you wanted to do some social media stuff, or like just get yourself out there in a bigger way to a bigger audience, your 11th house will really support you basically in doing that. Also, like I said, if you have a wish, if you want to make a vision board right now, do that because your imagination and your manifesting powers will really be ramped up during this time. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about the air signs and the fire signs. For our air signs, okay, so air signs, you guys have a really big transformation theme during Scorpio season. Every element deals with Scorpio season a little bit differently. Air signs, you guys are transforming. You're doing deep work and you are changing a lot of things in your life. So let's talk about where you're going to be making these changes. Aquarius, your 10th house is lit up. Your 10th house is career and your reputation. So for you guys, all of the hard work that you've been doing all year is going to be highlighted during Scorpio season. So you could get some sort of promotion, you could get a raise. These are all good things, right? You also could, if you aren't working right now, this would be a great time to apply for jobs because you can attract the right opportunity during this time. So polish up that resume, Aquarius. And if you are wanting to, ask for a raise or put yourself out there in a different way at work, this is the time because that 10th house is on fire. Libra, your second house is lit up during Scorpio season. And this is the house that has to do with your self-worth and values. So Also your money, but we'll get to that next. So Libra, your self-worth and the amount of money that you bring in are tied, right? It's like that for all of us. But during Scorpio season, your attention is really drawn to this part of your life. So I would say, make sure that your second house is strong. Make sure that you're doing those positive affirmations. Give yourself the credit that you deserve. Sometimes Libras, because you're just so balanced and you really have that energy of like wanting to give and be harmonious. I want you guys to think a little bit more like an Aries this season, your opposite counterpart. Think about yourself more, okay? Think about what you've accomplished. Give yourself a pat on the back and allow yourself to really embrace your worth and your value. Also, if you're wanting to make more money, now you are going to be fired up to do that. So, think about ways that you could make more money. Think about things that you could sell or maybe a side hustle. This is a really good time to believe in yourself and make those changes. You could attract some money, you're going to attract a little more admiration. Remember, the more that you love yourself, the more other people start to love on you. So just really focus on that. It sounds like a good thing, right? Okay, Gemini, last but not least, you guys have your sixth house lit up. And your sixth house is all about like your day to day. So it's like your daily routine. It is your sleep wake schedule. It's your workout schedule. And that might not sound super like exciting, but just know that if you pay attention to that part of your life during Scorpio season, this is a time when it's so much easier to make those changes if you've been wanting to make them. And making shifts or making the improvements when it comes to like how much sleep you're getting or your diet, what you're eating, eating more vitamins, things like that. If you take the time to do that, it's going to be easier during this season. And it's also going to make the next year, really, until you come back to Scorpio season when you evaluate it again, it's going to make you healthier and happier the whole year. So it's kind of a time for you guys to put in the work, but just know that if you do it now and you get it over with, it's going to be easier to do it now than it will be to do it in Sagittarius season. I'll tell you that. It's like, trust, don't even try in Sagittarius season because you're going to be like celebrating and, eating and drinking. So do it now, be a little more disciplined, get your motivation going, ground yourself, and you're going to feel really good. And when you feel good, you do good and everything just kind of improves, right? So you're going to just up level your life. So start with the day to day, start with your daily routines and habits. Also, it's a great time to get a pet. If you want a pet, the sixth house rules pets. I know my dog's great. Love her. She brings a lot of joy to my life. So if you're in a position to get a pet, now would be the perfect time of year. So after this break, we're going to talk about fire signs. So during Scorpio season, we are wanting to be our most sultry, seductive selves. And nothing makes you feel better than having your hair on point. You guys know what I mean. So let me tell you guys about Pros. Pros has absolutely changed the life of my hair. My hair is so dry naturally. I actually went to a new hairstylist last week for a consultation. We're about to, get the roots done, do the whole thing. And she noticed how fine my hair was. And she actually said, wow, your hair's so fine, but there isn't a whole lot of breakage, even though you've used bleach. And I told her Pros. I was like, I've been using Pros for the past few months, and I have noticed a huge difference in my hair. So I've got to tell you guys about this brand so you can get in on it. There's no one size fits all solution when it comes to hair care. We know that, right? A product that works wonders for curls might make straight hair limp and greasy. But thanks to my personalized Pros routine, I can honestly say that I have never been more in love with my hair. So here's how Pros works. Pros makes custom hair care that's effective because it's personal. Using natural ingredients with proven results, Pros customizes every product in your routine from shampoo to supplements. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, I'm holding up some of my favorite supplements. It has my name on it. It says Root Source. This is like for a healthy scalp. I have all of my Pros products, you guys. Like I just keep these in my purse. This one is also like balancing for my scalp. So really, when you go on the Pros website, you don't just order kind of what you think. You take this test and they ask you really in-depth questions. I'm talking like, how much do you work out? What kind of foods do you eat? How much do you like how much damage you put your hair through. Like, do you use bleach? You know, do you use heat tools? Everything. Once you put all that information in, oh, and you even can tell them like what smells you like. Like I like an amber vanilla smell. Everything down to just everything is customized. So you put all the information in, and then they create this routine that really fits all of your hair's needs. There's nothing like it. I am just obsessed. And I believe in pros so much, and so do they, that if you are not 100% positive that Pros is the best hair care that you've had, they will take the products back, no questions asked. It's that good. Even your hairstylist will notice, like I said. Pros is the healthy hair regimen with your name all over it. Take your free in-depth hair consultation and get 15% off your first order today. Go to pros.com/bzen. That's PROSE.com/bzen for your free in-depth hair consultation and 15% off. It is so worth it. Let me know how much you love it. So, fire signs, you guys, last but not least, Scorpio season is an intense time for you. I'm going to be honest. But remember, just like the Scorpio theme of like the Phoenix rising, the more you dig in to the themes that we're going to talk about, the more you will be able to rise. And you guys are strong. Our Leos, our Aries, our Sagittarius, you guys are tough. So none of this is going to phase you. But let's talk about where you can transform and where you can really dig in this season. So, Leo, your fourth house is lit up. And your fourth house is like it's your home and family house. And Leo, you guys, I mean, you guys are fun loving. You are associated with the fifth house. So, like, you guys like to go out, have fun, go on dates, glamour, all of that stuff that's kind of like out there in the world. And during Scorpio season, you're asked to retreat a little bit into your shell, to go back home, to hang up your party shoes and maybe kind of, clean up the house. It's like, think about the time, like, I would say actually, I was going to say after the party, but I'd say like before the party. So right before everybody kind of comes over, you know how you have to kind of like clean everything up and you get things organized so that you can have fun and really enjoy yourself when people get there. This is that for you. So think about how you can improve your physical space, whether it's, cleaning up, maybe sprucing things up, getting some new things, decluttering, all of that will be really, really good for you. It'll just make you feel really grounded. Also, if you have anything that you need to work out with like family members, the fourth house rules family as well. So if you need to have a conversation with someone in your family, just know that this will be a really aligned time to do that. And the outcome will be, most likely will be favorable because that fourth house will be supported. So, dive in, do that, get grounded. You'll end up feeling really good after you do all that stuff and you'll have a feeling of satisfaction. And then Sagittarius season coming next, you guys will be able to party it up again. Okay, Aries, you guys have your eighth house lit up. Another intense theme. Our fire signs just have a lot of like intense healing, transformation going on. So, Aries, you guys have this eighth house energy, which is deep intimacy and like I gotta say, it is like soul bonding. Okay. It's a very intense energy. It also rules like inheritances. So if you guys have an inheritance coming, Aries, you might get it now. But also, like, let's say you're in a relationship with somebody. This can be kind of a make it or break it time because the eighth house really goes one way or the other. It's a very powerful house, very powerful energy. So you guys are either going to realize, most likely, that you want to be with this other person and take things to a deeper level. You may realize that you want to get married, you want to get engaged. Or you may realize that this person isn't right for you and you may decide to break up, move on, really let go of the past, let go of people and things, situations that didn't work out for you. It's like this karmic house of either merging or letting go. Also, if anything has been hidden from you, it will come out during Scorpio season. And that might sound a little bit intense or daunting, but just so you know, whatever comes up, whatever's exposed during Scorpio season, and it could be a good thing, right? You may find out something really good that you didn't know about your partner or about, somebody else in your life that you're close to. But if you do find out something that you don't like, just know that this is all like for your protection. It's all for your benefit. And Aries is a very independent sign and a really independent energy. And trust me when I tell you, an Aries is so much better off on their own and like happy and thriving and being able to be like honest than they are when they're with somebody in a situation that isn't aligned. So just know that whatever comes up, good or bad, you guys can handle it and it really will be for your ultimate good. All right. And Sagittarius, you guys have your 12th house lit up. The 12th house is all about deep psychological themes. So this is your house of the unconscious. This rules like your spirituality, your deep beliefs, subconscious beliefs you may have about yourself. So it's all of the things that are hidden because your season comes next. And one fun thing about astrology is that before our birthday season, for everybody, you always have to do a 12th house cleanse before you get into your first house. So, Sagittarius, it's your turn. You guys can look back now on everything that's happened over the past year since your last birthday and figure out, what do I want to let go of? What did I do well? What did I not really like? What do I want to change? How do I want to grow? It's just like a time to really be introspective and kind of just filter through everything. So things like journaling are really great for 12th house exploration. Going to therapy would be good if you're feeling a little bit stressed out right now. So there are just a lot of themes for you guys that have to do with spending time with yourself. The 12th house also rules like isolation. And just know that if you're spending more time alone right now, that's good. That's what you're supposed to do. It might seem a little boring to you, Sagittarius. I'm a Sagittarius rising, so I get it. But just know that this is like for your own good. You know, like it's good for you. You're going to feel better after you do this. So face the stuff, purge everything, also physically purge anything you don't need anymore, and get ready to start fresh in your season. All right, you guys have a fabulous Scorpio season. I hope it's full of mystery and transformation. With all of the cosmic energy going around, we've got Scorpio season. We talked about all the cosmic calendar dates. It's busy, right? It's a little chaotic, not bad, but busy. So we want to be in top form, which is why I have to tell you guys about our sponsor for this episode, Goli. So Goli's ashwagandha gummies in particular are gummies that I really recommend during this time. Let's talk about them. So the ancient Indian herb ashwagandha has been recognized for its medicinal properties for over 5,000 years. So obviously, well established here. So let's talk about ashwagandha, what it does, and why it will benefit you during this cosmically slightly chaotic, let's say busy time in life. So ashwagandha reduces stress and promotes relaxation. It also promotes the quality of sleep. That is so important, right? When we're getting enough sleep, like just so many benefits when it comes to our mood, our ability to have energy to do things, like obviously sleep, number one. Support physical performance and endurance in healthy athletic adults. So when we are working out, we need a little bit of a boost. Being calm, feeling good, feeling zen, if you will. Ashwagandha helps with all of that. Also, ashwagandha supports memory and concentration. So when it comes to like mind, body, and soul, you guys, I'm telling you, introducing Goli's ashwagandha gummies, it's been a game changer for me personally, and I highly recommend. I am always on the lookout for ways to reduce stress, for ways to help with my performance that are, healthy. And I don't really like putting a ton of chemicals into my body. So, ashwagandha is something that I have really been interested in for a while. I've heard about it, I've read about it, places like Goop, and Goli Gummies makes it really, really easy to introduce healthy things like this into your body, into your routine. And like I said, definitely helpful for a time when things are a little bit cosmically charged. You might want to give yourself some support, right? Also, Gully Nutrition Ashwa gummies are made with vitamin D, which supports a healthy immune system. As we go into fall, we need as many immune boosters as we can get. And the delicious mixed berry flavor of Gully Nutrition Ashwa gummies perfectly complements ashwagandha and the other ingredients. Gully Nutrition Ashwa gummies do not contain artificial sweeteners, artificial flavors, or synthetic colors. We love to hear that. To get your own Ashwa gummies and start with your wellness routine, just give a little bit of a boost, go to Goli.com. And after you pick out the amazing gummies that you want, enter the promo code B-Zen at the checkout page. It cannot get easier than that. Once again, that's Goli.com, promo code BZEN at the checkout page, and make Goli part of your wellness routine today. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Enjoy that wellness journey and let me know how you like the Ashwa gummies. I am really excited because in this episode, we are going to do our first live call in. I got a DM from one of our amazing listeners, Hazel, and she wanted to know about her Solar Saturn return. So she sent me her birth chart. We were talking about it offline, and I invited her to come on the show because Scorpio season is such a time of transformation. And when it comes to our birth charts, you guys, your solar Saturn return is one of the biggest transformations that you ever experience. So let's talk about it a little bit before Hazel comes on. Your solar Saturn return. We've probably heard, you guys have probably kind of heard that before, but what it really is it's this time period between the ages of 27 and 31, roughly, depending on your birth chart, where Saturn returns to the exact place it was when you were born. And Saturn in astrology is like the taskmaster planet. It is the planet that deals with like hard work and overcoming obstacles. So, this time period, if you've ever wondered why like your late 20s were so confusing or difficult, there's a reason for that in astrology. It's because you were having your solar Saturn return, which is this coming of age time. And the reason that this happens is because if you didn't have this time, it's like you would never really be able to move on to the next part of your life. So many things are exposed to us about ourselves, about our lives, about our circumstances, depending on the house that your Saturn falls in. So it'll be a little bit easier to go through this with Hazel. I want you guys to listen in on this call because no matter where your Saturn placement is, you'll probably be able to relate to this and give yourself a little bit of credit for going through your own Saturn return. Or if you're about to go through yours, this will give you a little bit of insight as well. So to find your placement, just pull up your birth chart. You guys know I like the astro-charts.com. Just a free birth chart. Put in all your info, including your birth time. And then just go to where it says Saturn in the list, and you'll be able to see like for Hazel, her Saturn is in Aquarius in the 12th house. So we're going to talk about that today. But just check that out so you know. And then, yeah, feel free to call in if you guys have questions. All right, Hazel, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, Brit, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to talk to you, but I'm also a little bit nervous.
Oh, well, don't be nervous at all. We are all friends here.
Well, thank you. So like we've talked about offline, I'm an Aquarius, and I am, like we talked about, going through my Saturn return right now. And I've, of course, had to come to the source and find the best advice and
Aw.
talk it through with you so that I can feel a little bit better and empowered going into this season.
Well, you are such an amazing person, Hazel. Thank you for calling and for trusting the B-Zen community with this info. Hopefully, we can tell you something that's going to uplift you and help you feel a little bit stronger because the solar Saturn return is no joke, right? I'm sure you're going through it. What has your experience been so far? Because you said you're 29, right? And you've been
Yes.
going through it since 27.
Yes, and it's crazy because I feel like the last couple to 3 years, I've just been trying to figure things out and trying to work through things and going back and forth and, really trying to get an answer to, I know this sounds so big, to life. Like, what is my purpose? What am I doing here? What am I meant for?
Yes.
It's just been all over the place. So it's been a little rough, but hopefully I can get some answers soon.
Well, I love that that you are looking for the answer to life. And I would say, aren't we all? But also, you really are because when we pull up your birth chart, Hazel, you have your Saturn in the 12th house, and the 12th house is all about the themes of like letting go, release, the subconscious, our belief systems. So it is everything that you believe. And that makes sense that you'd be questioning, like, do I even, know what I believe anymore? Sometimes that has to do with our mental health. Sometimes it has to do with our religious background. For everybody, it's really unique. So for you, where have your questions kind of stemmed? I know that you have your sun in Aquarius as well as your Saturn in Aquarius. So yeah, I feel like you're questioning everything. Are there any like specific questions? Because I have your birth chart here and I could maybe, give you a little bit of insight.
Yes, please. I will take all the insight I can get. So I think like the biggest question, like I've spent the last few years like really putting my everything into my career and building that, and I feel like I've been able to move that forward and gotten somewhere. But with that, I feel like things have become lonely because I've put so much in my career that it's more of like I feel like everybody is finding their person, and I like am just having such a hard time just like finding somebody that I feel a good match to even go on a date with. So I feel like I have put so much in, but also having such a hard time finding a partner to be able to share that with.
Oh my gosh, yes, 100%. And that makes so much sense. You know what? Because right now you are in your 12th house, that's really where your focus is. The 12th house is about you. I mean, it is a place of even more than your first house, I would say. Because the first house is like the physical you, the 12th house is like you as a soul.
Mm,
So it is deep, it is intense. And sometimes we have to go through certain things on our own before we can invite somebody else into our lives. So I would say that for you, I totally understand why you would feel like, I'm not meeting somebody. Why is everybody else meeting somebody? That's so normal. But I feel like it's because it really isn't time yet.
mm,
And we can see in your birth chart that this really is your time to focus on making you the strongest, most solid, solitary you that you can be so that when the time is right, you'll attract the right partner and not somebody that's not really going to align with who you are. So I know that's not as fun, but just know that it is part of the process. And for you, you're turning 30,
mhm.
I know, coming up in February, and you're gonna enter into a 7th house perfection year when you turn 30. So, for you, I could see you meeting someone definitely after your birthday,
Okay.
um, because you've been in a 6th house energy, which is work, which what you just said work.
Mhm.
So 29 for you is a 6th house year. Next year, you go to a 7th house year. So that's partnerships. So definitely, we are going to see a shift for you in your energy. So I think that you could attract someone serious um, during your 30th year. Definitely. 30th, 30, 31. Yeah, I think 30, 31, you'll meet somebody really significant.
I
So
like
I think it's coming.
I
I
like
think
that.
it's
I like what you said because I do really want to be my strongest physically, mentally, spiritually, so that I've spent all this time trying to figure things out and work on my different, mind, body, and soul. And so I want to be able to take that and then grow with somebody that is also taking time on their mind, body, and soul. So I like that you said that it's kind of like this time has been for me to prepare and get as strong as I can be.
100%. And, also with your Aquarius energy, you have so much Aquarius energy in your chart. Aquarius energy is like, you'll probably hear astrologers talk about this. That is like the energy of the future. That's like where we're going. Aquarius rules like technology, connection, humanitarianism. So this is going to sound a little wild, but bear with me. Your purpose, I believe, based on your birth chart, part of your purpose is to be a part of growth and change.
Mm,
And I just think that you are really being positioned in a place to where you can fully embrace your purpose. And I do think that this coming of age for you, this Saturn return that causes an existential crisis for basically everyone at this point in your life, that is meant to make you question who you want to be, because I think that your purpose is going to depend on you really knowing who you are and what you're meant to contribute.
Mm.
So I think you're in that period of time where you're really figuring it out. And then this next phase, I think after 30 years old, you're going to know who you are. You're going to understand all of these things. It's all going to start to make sense. And then I think you're going to get into a place where you're going to attract that partner and things are just going to start to move in the direction that you always hoped they would go in. This is just a time that feels a little bit unstable because it's transformation, right? And we've been talking about Scorpio season on this episode. This is that time for you in your life. It's like your big transformation. So the way that you show up, the way you deal with these themes, these 12th house energies, and that can be, having a lot of self-compassion, again, like maybe going to therapy, journaling, manifesting, giving yourself grace, having patience with yourself. And sometimes when the 12th house feels a little bit draining because it's so, it's so big, right? It's like everything in your life, questioning everything. It's the big picture. Going into 6th house themes, Virgo themes, like day to day, wellness, working out, having a daily routine, having a wake sleep schedule, all that stuff, the 6th house can really help balance the 12th house. So I would say, like, if you do ever start to feel overwhelmed, because this is a really big, important, special time for you in your life, if you need a little extra support, you can always, like, I like to Google this stuff. Like, you can Google ways to boost my 6th house in astrology. And you can just start trying out some of these, daily routines, or start reading a book that kind of, motivates you around your daily routine and motivation. Just getting out of your head a little bit and into your body can really help you to balance this energy while you're kind of going through this big change, if
I
that makes
love that.
sense.
I love that. I think I've been like trying to play around with different things, so that totally makes sense. Like trying to play around with, like you said, journaling, but also like working out and trying to eat healthy. And so I love, and that reaffirms kind of what I should be and want to be spending more time in figuring out. So I love that.
I'm so glad. And, just looking at your chart, a couple of other things that stick out to me about your gifts and part of your purpose that I think this Solar Saturn return is like helping you to become more aware of. Your North Node is in Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is all about like philosophy. It's really interesting that you're on this show calling in right now. So obviously you're interested in some of these themes like philosophy, understanding astrology, just, some of these more like cosmic tools, if you will. So that's actually part of your purpose, part of where you're going, where you're headed to in life. The Okay, so the Gemini South Node, Sagittarius North Node axis, which is what is active in your life, tells you about where you're going and where you've been. So, and this solar Saturn return kind of marks this period of, it's like the differentiation between where I've been and where I'm going. So it kind of like draws this line in the sand. So pre Saturn return, you were embodying most likely more of your South Node energy. And for you, that's Gemini. So that is like being very much on the go, communication. Uh, you know, Gemini also rules like celebrity gossip, like groups, kind of like the socialite type of thing. It's like someone who's just like friends with everybody and not necessarily going deep. It's like very of someone who's like very popular and like pop culture is ruled by Gemini, for example. And then you're going through this like 12th house transformation. So it's this questioning of the values and belief systems, letting things go. And you're about to cross over the line to your North Node, where you're really going to start to now focus on your North Node, I believe from 30 onward, based on your chart. And that is Sagittarius energy. So you're going to become more of this like the wise philosopher, the seeker, someone who really knows who they are inside. It's like a very it's an energy of being wise, and that comes from spending more time alone. Sounds kind of strange, but it's this sense of knowing and like embodying truth. And I mean, it sounds really deep, but it is. And it's so beautiful. Like your chart is so cool. Honestly, like I love that you have that as your North Node. Your midheaven is also Sagittarius. So you're meant to be seen as this person with all of this wisdom and knowledge. So I just see so much spiritual soul growth. And I think you're really, I mean, you're doing amazing, sweetie, to quote Kris Jenner. You
Thank
really are. I know it's not easy, but it is really rewarding. And I think that everybody who has been through a solar Saturn return, if you guys check out the placement of that and then also look at your north and south node, and you'll probably be able to see like a huge difference in the energy of your life shifting from more of the south node theme to more of a north node theme. So yeah, you're headed towards your destiny, girl.
I'm ready. I'm ready to embrace it and to really like thrive in it and sit in it. So thank you for all of this knowledge. And I knew that, this community and you provide so much for everyone, positivity and love. So I knew coming to you, I would, kind of get some of the answers and motivation to go on. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much for calling. Be sure to keep up with us. Send me a DM. Let me know how you're doing. I'm so proud of you. And again, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being a part of our community.
Thank you, Brit.
Thank you guys so much for listening to B-Zen with Brit. I hope you have an amazing week. And don't forget to hit that plus sign and subscribe so that you guys keep up with all this fun cosmic content. Enjoy your Scorpio season, and we'll talk to you soon.